Tuesday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, and probably, well, this must be about the biggest puzzle that we've ever tried to do. This is a 16 by 16 grid, I just counted it. And yeah, there's some 10s in it as well, which you might be wondering about. And the puzzle on the screen is called It's called FilloSudokumino, I think, and it's by Magnus Josefsson. Now, Magnus is a genius, actually. He and his brother Jesper are very well known in the puzzle community as just being exceptionally clever and brilliant setters. And we've had this requested about 20 times since it's appeared. Requested and also recommended from people who have solved it. And if you go over to Logic Masters Germany and look at the list of names who've solved it and look at the comments, you've got people like KNT saying they're blown away by this. They can't believe how good Magnus is at setting puzzles. Every other comment is sort of, this is one of the best things I've ever seen, which, I mean, it's just wonderful. What a week we are in terms of puzzles. So let's just think about the last few days of puzzles. We had the agent puzzle, which is definitely one of the best puzzles I've ever solved, the one with the line in it, where you had to do yin-yang. The day after that, we had that incredible chess Sudoku by Christian Koenig, which some of you have said, well, actually, I say some of you, quite a lot of you are saying is your favourite puzzle you've ever seen on the channel. And that's getting shared a bit around some of the chess social media things at the moment. So I really hope that somebody in the chess world picks that up and has a good hard look at it, because it's an amazing puzzle. And then yesterday we had the Arithmetic Quiz, or the Arithmetic Quiz if you prefer, and that's also been getting a lot of love. And then you get this one, which is very strange looking, but apparently one of the great puzzles as well. So these are the halcyon days for puzzle making and puzzle solving, and we're very lucky to be part of it. I'll read you the rules of this one in just a moment and try and explain what's going on, which is all rather interesting. What do I need to tell you about other than that? I need to say very happy birthday to a very special 2-year-old girl Alexis. You've just turned 2 today, I think, and your daddy wrote to us. Your daddy Justin, and I hear that apparently Justin discovered that you liked Sting as a result of one of my guitar intros. So if I get a chance later, I might try and play a bit of Sting in the guitar intro. I might not have time though. But Alexis, I hope you have an absolutely brilliant birthday with an enormous amount of chocolate cake, of course. Now it's also Charlotte's birthday today. Charlotte, you've turned the big 3-0. Your boyfriend Ryan said you'd appreciate a shout out. So Charlotte, I hope you have a brilliant day. Also, what else do I need to tell you about? I don't need to tell you I've just started playing God of War, do I? Why is that written down on here? I've no idea. Anyway, I've just started playing God of War. I'm enjoying it a lot. Thursday night, I'm not streaming God of War, but I am streaming with Mark. We're going to be working our way through the 500,000 special Cracking the Cryptic app. Do download that if you haven't downloaded it. It's free. We released it to say thank you to all of you for supporting us in reaching 500,000 subscribers on YouTube. It doesn't look like I'm going to be doing my Macarena dance or Gangnam Style dance, which I promised to do when we reached 1 million subscribers anytime soon, but there is that offer on the table. And oh yeah, it's the last day for Patreon reward for September. So if you haven't sent in your answers yet, you have until midnight tonight to send in your answers to the monthly reward. It's doable by midnight. Even if you're just starting to watch this video at 8:30, it is doable. But you probably have to get a move on. And the other thing we've got on Patreon, of course, is Mark and I both tackling simultaneously and collaboratively a puzzle called Jabberwocky by Dad Jokes, which is a rather wonderful thing. So that's over on Patreon too. Anyway, all that said and done, let's get on with, I'm going to say the name again now, FilloSudokumino. How is that meant to trip off the tongue, Magnus? And I got interrupted by the phone. So sorry about that, but it was probably not a bad time to do it because I was about to do the instructions, which I can do now. So let me read them to you. Place a number in every cell of the grid such that 1. There is a 9 by 9 subgrid that forms a valid standard Sudoku. Right, so in this enormous grid, we've got to find a 9 by 9 grid. Hang on, let me try and draw one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's make this a square. So something like that would, I think, be possible. Let's make that purple. Oh, bobbins! I wanted to make it all purple, like that. That's lovely. Right. So there we go. We've built a 9 by 9 subgrid. So this needs to exist somewhere in the puzzle. So let's see if this is broken already. Have I got like a repeated? No, that might be possible. I don't know whether it's possible from a Sudoku perspective, but this is in theory possible. And then, disregarding the interior 7 by 7 area of the Sudoku subgrid. Right, so that means disregarding this region, 7 by 7 in the middle of that. Boom, 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 boom. Make that green. Disregarding the interior 7 by 7, the rest of the grid, including the one cell wide perimeter of the Sudoku grid, forms a valid fillomino. That is, that's crazy. So basically we've got everything in the, literally every cell in the grid now that is not green has to be a valid fillomino. And if you don't know what fillomino is, do not worry. I will explain that in a moment. The rules, in fact, go on to explain that. While at the same time having the purple cells in the grid form a valid Sudoku. So literally, let's go to the line tool. Let's pick a colour. Okay, so if this was correct, we could draw a line around here, and then we could divide this up into 3 by 3 boxes to make a standard Sudoku. So this thing in the middle is solving as a valid Sudoku, while, let me get rid of the purple in the green. I'm going to have fun with colours, I think, today on this one. Let's get rid of the purple there. So while at the same time, the purple, this purple perimeter of the Sudoku and all of the white cells in the grid have to form a valid fillomino. Now let's talk about what a fillomino is. So standard fillomino rules are as follows. Divide the grid into regions of orthogonally connected cells and enter into each cell the size of its region. So that's how we're able to have some 10 cells in the grid. These need to be part of a region that's 10 cells large. So something, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, something like that could be the region that's part of this, that these tens are part of. No two regions of the same size may share an edge. So what we couldn't do here is have another region of size 10, say, that touches any of these red cells. And in fact, I'm trying to see if I can immediately see how this is broken. I mean, I presume it's going to be quite easy to break these Sudoku grids. Otherwise, this is going to take a very, very long time to sort of hypothesize every single 9 by 9 in this and then work out what the correct 9 by 9 has to be. I don't know. But what I do know is that I've got a snip of an example puzzle here. So let's go over here and take a look at this. So this is an example that Magnus has put up on Logic Masters Germany. And this is, right, so this, in the interior grid here, is not a 9 by 9, it's a 6 by 6 Sudoku. You can see there's the white inner 4 by 4 there is not constrained by fillomino. Every other cell in the grid is constrained by the fillomino rule. So you've got an 8 cell region in the bottom left, it doesn't touch another 8 cell region. A 6 cell region here doesn't touch another 6 cell region. It's a fascinating idea. I mean, the inventiveness in the world of Sudoku now, it is off the charts. But, now hang on, let's reset the puzzle. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. Now I get to play. Let's get cracking. And let's give some thought. Well, I suppose the first thing I can say is that any cell that has a 10 in it is not part of the Sudoku. So I'm going to label these in a colour. The colour I'm going to choose is blue. Right, so blue cells are not part of the Sudoku because you can't put a 10 in a Sudoku. Now, those 5 cells are therefore not part of the Sudoku because you can't fit a 9 by 9 grid into a strip of 5 cells. And same thing goes here. I can't fit a 9 by 9 grid in the top row only, so they come out. Now, how many cells are left to the right of this? 8. That's perfect. Right. That's only 8 cells, so that can't be part of the Sudoku. The same reason that can't be part of the Sudoku. This can't be part of the Sudoku. These can't be part of the Sudoku. You can't fit a 9 by 9 in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, bobbins. Okay, you can fit a 9 by 9 in there. So, is that correct then? Or could it be correct? Let's just have a quick look at this. So, is that a possible Sudoku grid? No. Yeah, no. Actually, no. Really, no. And not for a Sudoku reason. I'm actually a bit troubled by this already. I'm just trying to get my head around how the fillomino works on the perimeter of this. Right, well this 4 is utterly broken, but from a fillomino perspective, because this is, if this was a Sudoku, these digits would be different from 4. Let's just give them other numbers. Sorry, I was trying to put numbers. Let's put 6 in there. That can't be a 7. Let's put 5 in there. I don't know whether that's possible or not. But the point is, how do you make this fillomino have this fillomino square? Remember, the perimeter has to be part of the fillomino, so this has to be part of a sequence of 4 cells. Well, there are no cells it can get to, because these are different from 4, and there's no cells below this that are southerly of this 4 in this grid. This is broken, but I think that might be the case for any perimeter then. That's the thing that I'm now sort of starting to question. So if we had... Yeah, you just can't do it. You can't have a Sudoku grid in this particular puzzle that borders the perimeter, because the only... Yeah, in fact, this is a good example. The only digit along this perimeter that you could possibly fill in with a valid fillomino shape would be the 1, because the 1 can be bounded like this, but every other digit in this perimeter is broken because, well, wherever we put the digit, it's got to get out to the right, and it can't because it's going to be bounded because of Sudoku rules by different numbers. This is lovely, actually. Let me de-greenify some things and de-orangify some things, because we're going to make massive progress here. Because all of a sudden, I think, blue... hang on, let me get this right. Blue, everything along the perimeter. And that means now this is not 8. Is this? No, this is only 8 cells now, isn't it? Because that would have been the 9th. Yeah. So I can't fit a Sudoku grid in there now. And the other thing that's now occurring to me is it really possible to put a Sudoku grid next to a perimeter that's only 1 cell wide, if you see what I mean? So let's imagine you did a Sudoku grid like this. That's probably not a Sudoku grid, is it? Is that 8 cells? Maybe that's 9 cells. Why do I find it so difficult to draw that in? Right, I'm gonna draw this Sudoku grid because it's going to be colourful. Right, there we go. I think that is 9 by 9. I'm just thinking about this column now, because this has to contain 1 of every digit, and they all have to get out. So they all either have to be, well, one of them can be a 1, and then it doesn't have to get out, but all the others have to sort of get out. And they can't all be 2. So, like, if this was a 5, and if this was a 7, that would have to be a 1, because the 5 would have to come up here like this. The 6 could go there. But now the 7 would have to come down here. And none of these digits could be filled, I don't think. So there is definitely a problem here. It's not... Yeah, I mean, it's a bit... I don't know if people are going to accept that. I mean, I can see that it's impossible for this column to be next to a one cell wide perimeter. You just can't make the fillomino work. But I don't know if I've made that clear enough. Let me just think about this. Is there a way of short-circuiting this? I mean, what I'm seeing now is that there are all sorts of places that are difficult around this grid, actually. Can you ever... Oh, that's right. Okay, here's... Actually, hang on a minute. Hang on a moment. I was about to conclude that this cell could never be in a Sudoku grid, because how would it ever get out? But then it occurred to me it could be a 1. And then it occurred to me it might clash with a 1 in this row. But then I thought maybe I could draw this in. This is this is very interesting indeed. So yeah, hang on. Let me just start with the question I was originally asking there, which is this question. How could you ever have the Sudoku grid border a 10? And this might sort of crystallize our thinking on the left hand side. What is this digit now? It has to be part of a valid fillomino. Well, and I can't put 10 in the Sudoku. And it can't be a 1 because there's a 1 in its row. So there is no... Yeah, okay. So it can't be anything, because the moment it's anything that's not 1, it needs to come out. And that means it needs to come out downwards or that way, and it can do neither. So actually, this doesn't work. That I'm very confident that everyone will accept. Now, yeah, and it's the... So that one of these ones is going to be in any Sudoku grid that we build along the bottom row. And then given this 10 is here, it's impossible. Because this 10 always bounds a Sudoku grid we draw along the bottom row. So we can actually bluify all of those immediately. One thing that I'm wondering is we might have to sort of... Because some of this grid is now going to be in the Sudoku grid, isn't it? Let's think about that for a moment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right. So that is the furthest I could sort of top leftify a Sudoku grid. Now the furthest I could bottom right a Sudoku grid is going to be... Oops. I didn't mean to do that. There's my picture of Peter Venus. And what's that? Some sort of music person. Who was that music person? I don't know. I think her name is Rita something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that is therefore the most bottom lefty Sudoku grid that you could draw. So you can see you're always going to include these cells in any Sudoku grid you draw. Yeah, that's got to be right. I'm just checking whether if I draw a... Yeah, there's just no way. So these cells are definitely, and all this interior, definitely in the Sudoku grid. So I'm going to make those purple, I think, on the basis it makes the prettiest patterns. So now I can de-greenify those. I know these are in the Sudoku, but I don't know what the Sudoku looks like. And what I'm wondering is whether I can... Oh, hang on. How could these cells be in the same? How could that... Yeah, okay, that's easy. So how's that cell in the Sudoku grid? It's not, because then it would have to be part of a 9-cell row, which would necessarily include this 1, and you get 2 1s in the row. So that's got to be blue, which means that's got to be blue. Now, have I got rid of this column now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... Oh, no, I haven't. I can still, I think, draw this. That is possibly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8... Oh, bobbins. Ah, ha ha, right, that's broken. Oh, Magnus, that is very clever. I've suddenly realised, oh dear, dear, dear. Is it very clever? Well, it's not, but it's very clever of Magnus. I'm wondering whether it's very foolish of me. I'm very sorry if some of you have been shouting at me here. I've just realised something very important. I'm just checking in my mind whether it is true. It is true. Oh, it's very clever. It's very, very clever. This is absolutely beautiful. And I think it's going to allow us to find the Sudoku grid quite quickly. Right. The point is, this is broken because you can't have this pattern. You can never have a 1 just outside the Sudoku grid. Because what's this cell now? And it can't be anything. Because remember, what you cannot do in a fillomino is have 2 1-shaped regions next to each other. So this digit is not allowed to be a 1. It's part of the fillomino, but it's not allowed to be a 1. So what are we going to make it? Let's make it a 2, which is the least offensive thing it can be. Well, where does it go? It can't get that cell, which won't be a 2. It can't get that cell, which won't be a 2, because this is part of a Sudoku. And it can't go there because 2 is not equal to 1. Now, these are the knowledge bombs you get to share on Cracking the Cryptic. So that means that logic is extendable, isn't it? That we can do that logic everywhere. So there is no possibility in this puzzle that when you draw the 9 by 9 grid onto the puzzle, there is a 1 no, I might be misleading you here. Well, it's certainly not possible you have the 1 in the middle of a side of the Sudoku. Okay, right, I've just realised one thing. Look at this. Imagine the Sudoku. Oh, the Sudoku can't, but let's draw another Sudoku grid in like that. Is that a Sudoku grid or is that... No, it's not. Let's draw that Sudoku grid in. Now look at this cell. Now, actually this cell might be okay. Because that cell, let's make it a 4, doesn't have to come out by going downwards. It can come out by going rightwards. So there's sort of 2 exits for the fillomino, and that means it's got a different quality to if instead of this we did boom and boom. That's broken. That's broken. And the reason that's broken is this has got no valid solution. It's either a 1 touching a 1 fillomino, or it's a positive number and has to come out through the 1. So actually, I need to be a bit careful about this. It is true to say that is not a possible side of the Sudoku, because that 1 will break. So those turn blue. Now does that mean, yeah, that moves my little shape over slightly. Right, and we need to look for opportunity. Okay, can I use the bottom of the grid then? Yes. Or no. Hang on. 8, 9. That would put a 9 on the corner very annoyingly. I mean, there's lots now. There's lots and lots of... okay. Oh, this is very clever setting, actually. This is very clever setting. I've just realised what Magnus has done with these two cells. Okay, so I think these two ones have been very carefully positioned, because how do we draw a Sudoku grid starting in this row without having one of those ones in the middle of a side? I don't think you can do it. You can... one of these ones has got to be in the middle of a side. You can get one of them onto the very edge, and that would be fine. But this one's still broken then. So there is no way of doing it, and that means you can't put a Sudoku row anywhere in this row here, because it will fail with a 1 next to its perimeter. So that means all of those turn blue, which means I get to extend my purplification up here. Now, oh, hang on a minute, that's going to be problematic. So how on earth is that part of a... Ah, that doesn't... Well, the only... Sorry, I'm not being very articulate here, but I'm worried now about how I deal with this. I'm worried about whether any Sudoku grid could touch these 10s on the outside. So imagine we drew this Sudoku grid there. How would those 3 cells work? Now, one of them could be a 1, maybe, ignoring this 1 and Sudoku implications. One of these could be a 1. That's true. But the other ones are going to be the other digits. Let's make this a 1. These digits have to be non-1, and they're going to, therefore, fillomino-wise, have to go out and extend into 10s, and that won't work. So actually, there's something I think we can do in this top row. Well, how do you draw a 9 by 9 shape that doesn't take in more than one of these 10s? You can't do it. Even one that starts here picks up that one, which is the best we're going to do. This cell can get out because it can come to the left, so it can be anything. One of these could be a 1, although there is a 1 here preventing that, but the other one is going to go out vertically and hit a 10. So this isn't right. Oh, hang on. So you cannot put a Sudoku that starts in the 3rd row of this grid. So those turn blue, and that means we've now done something profound, because now I've found the 9 rows of my Sudoku grid, and that means I get to do something very exciting, which is, I've got to pick a colour for this. I'm going to pick green. I'm going to draw green lines across this, because I need to start thinking about where my 3x3 boxes come in. Now, okay. I'm also noticing that my trick with 1s, so my trick about trying to put 1s in the perimeter, is not going to work anymore. Oh, hang on. No, it's outside the perimeter that's a problem. That's quite an interesting cell, though, isn't it? That's got to be a correct fillomino. Oh, I was going to ring it and absolutely failed. Let's not do that then. But that means everything else in the top row has to be not a 1 and sort of go out. Not necessarily vertically, because wherever the edge of the Sudoku is, it can go out the other way. Okay, sorry, I'm wibbling on and speaking a lot of gibberish, I think. So how exactly do we get this to be more fixed in terms of, now I need to fix the latitude and longitude of my Sudoku grid. Not exactly sure how to do that. So obviously this cell you know, even if I try that Sudoku grid, this one isn't giving me the same issue because it's at the corner. And I can have a 1, I think. Can I have a 1 mid inside the fillomino is okay, isn't it? Because that's just going to be a 1. That, oh, look at that, and that still works. That could be a 1. That's a 1 fillomino, which means this can't be a 1, which looks like it might be problematic getting out, but then it can come down here and get out, so that actually works. I'm wondering whether it's something to do with where it's not that easy for that cell to be a 7, because it needs to be in a different box of the Sudoku. Ah, that can't be a 1. Oh, okay. All right. That's sublime. I have seen a lot of clever things over the last few days in Sudoku puzzles, and that might be my favourite thing. I think I'm just going to check, but I think we can plot the whole Sudoku now by thinking about this square. Because, yeah, this cell, it cannot be a 1. However much we might like it to be a 1 because it simplifies things, it cannot be a 1 by Sudoku. So it has to be another digit, which is not 1. So, but it also has to be a valid fillomino digit. So, you know, in pencil mark parlance, it's all of those things potentially. But whichever one of those things it is, how does its fillomino grow? Mary, Mary, quite contrary, how does your fillomino grow? It's got to grow downwards, because whatever this is, Q, apparently it's the digit or the number, whatever this is, it is different from this by Sudoku, and it's different from this by Sudoku. I was trying to type R. So it cannot grow that way, it cannot grow that way, so it must grow down. So in fact, Q is 7. And the moment that Q is 7, it can't be in the same 3 by 3 as this 7. So doesn't that mean that I've got to draw that line into my Sudoku, and therefore that line into my Sudoku, these lines into my Sudoku, and therefore I get to draw the Sudoku in, because it's now absolutely forced. That is something absolutely beautiful. So this is all blue. I can't wait to read in the comments whether that is the way you're meant to do that, because that is, to me, that is just, it's so clever. It really is. Now look, now I've done that, and that feels like I've, well, I mean, I've really got, this is real progress now. I can put 1 in the middle box. I'm going to do Sudoku, which is against my nature somewhat, but right, so do I seem to have exhausted my ability to do Sudoku, so now I'm going to do fillomino. So I'm going to do the ones. 1, 1, 1, 1. Oh, fail. Oops. 1, 1, nori nori. Those 10s must all be part of the same region. The 5 and the 7 must be different. This, right, yeah, okay. So now it's going to get tricky, isn't it? Oh, there's another 1 there that's fillominoable. That's fillominoable. Oh, where did my green line go? Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, yeah, the software, whenever you draw a line, doesn't recognize that a green line has a different quality to a black line. So it thinks I'm trying to delete that line. But this is, yeah, I mean, if you think about the bottom row, for example, or I think the top row, certainly for the the middle string of digits anyway, because every one of these digits here is not 1 and it's different from its neighbour, the only way that you can grow fillominos is going to be to grow them like this. They're a sort of series of plants, like they've got to dip their roots into the loam of blue. Well, okay, that's lovely. What's that one then? Well, that can't grow anymore, because to grow any more it's going to touch a neighbour with a different number to it. So it must be a 2, I think. Hang on, let me do that. And that's beautiful, because if that's a 2, none of the others can now be a 2. So I can extend them all. Boom, boom. Oh, no, that's okay. That one's got to turn now. And it can't be a 3 now. Right. Yeah, okay, there's a fillomino point here. This digit, whatever it is, if it was a 3, it would touch another region of size 3. So it's not 3, and we know it's not 1 or 2, so it's at least 4, so it's got to grow. So it's different from 3. Oh, that can't be a 10. Yeah, this is a Sudoku digit, so it's a 1 or a 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's not 10, so we can do that. And that's, oh, this is now got penned in. Right, so this is a region here. This is a region. So that's got to be of size 3, which means everything else is of size 4 at least, which we knew about this one, but now that one's of size 4 at least. This is of size 7 at least. So that's got to grow quite a lot. This is of size 4 at least. This is of size... but we don't know which way the 6 goes. But the 10 can't join to this because this is a Sudoku, so it's got to go that way. The 5... Well, the 5 also... I think it has to extend 1 this way, because it can't join to any of these lines without being at least 6 in size. If it joined up there, it would be of size 6. So the maximum number of cells it can take along the bottom would be those 3, plus itself, so it still needs to get that cell, which means the 10 comes out. So if we can prove this is not 4, it's got to turn. So, 5. Actually, I wonder whether what we're meant to do is to highlight these possibles now, because we're looking at 4s, 5s, 8s and 9s only. That can't be 8. It's quite difficult for me at least to see, because these squares are smaller than usual, I'm struggling to see them a little bit. That's got to be at least a, well, not a 5, 4, 8 or 9. So if this is not 4, it's massive. Oh, I suddenly thought it could join this to 10, but of course it can't. It is a Sudoku digit. Right, I see what to do here. Okay, so let's look at these two together. Because what's the maximum size we could put these into both of these lines combined? Well, at the moment they're 4 here and 4 here. That's 8. I could take that one, 9, 10, 11. That's the most I could take, because these lines cannot join to this 5 or this 4, and they are different from this 7. Now, so how do I make these two digits add up to less than 11? Well, I can't include 8 or 9 in either of them, so this must be a 4-5 pair. And right, this is beautiful. It's beautiful. Right, if this is 5, it extends down and touches another 5, so that's got to be the 4. That's 4, that's 5. We can extend the 5 down. We can outline the 5. The 4 is finished. So this one and this one are finished. We can put 4s in here. We can put 5s in here, not 6s. this 5, look, now can't turn left at all. That cell can't be a 5 or it's touching another 5. So that cell is an isolated cell and it is a 1. And this 5 has got to go along the bottom. Actually, this is all going to get constrained now. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's still got to continue. So it is a horizontal 5, which is rather cute. And that's a 1 in the center there. And this 10... Oh yeah, this is gorgeous. Right. This cell is now 8 or 9, which is massive. So this has got to grow, which means this has got to grow. This 3 now has to come up a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's different from 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this 10, which is only of size 6 at the moment, must turn up, which means that must turn up, which means this 3 must turn up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I see. Right. Okay. Okay. So does this 3 go up again is a good question, I think. Now think about this cell. What is that cell now? It can't be anything. It can't be 1 by Sudoku. And if it's any other number, it comes out and joins a 3 and makes the 3 a 4, which won't work. So that 3 must turn, I think, and finish. So that 3 is now done. And how 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This still needs more cells. It's got to come there. The 10 is now getting boxed in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's got to come to there. So the 3 is now boxed in. That 3 can only exist if it takes all of those cells. I think the 10 has to keep growing as well. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so the 10 is forced to be 10 looking exactly like this. Now, I can't type 10 in, can I? So are we going to use hexadecimal or are we going to use 0? I'm going to use A. If it lets me. Can I use A? Yes. All right. So this is a string of 10s. Now, what size is this then now? This is 8 exactly, so we can fill in that. That's got to be 8. And therefore we can get rid of our line just to make it look prettier. And and we can put and we can ring this and put 3 in the bottom right. Now I don't get to sing about 3 in the corner because there was a given 3 in the corner. Now, oh, hang on, this 7 now has got to get out. Oh, is that going to touch this, is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. However it goes, it touches this 7, therefore it must be part of it. And the only way it can be part of it is if it sort of is a dogleg like this. So all of those cells have to be 7. This has to snake round. We can draw in that segment. This 4 has to get out, at least to there. This square is now a 9 by Sudoku, which is massive. So that's going to be a massive region. Now this 6 though, well, we want that 6 to go down because that's going to force the 9 to go round. But we don't, it doesn't have to, I don't think. I think it can come out this way. What a puzzle though. What a puzzle. Now I'm going to do... I'm just wondering if I can do more Sudoku. No, okay, 4 and 7 have to be in that string of digits by Sudoku now. It's surprising how little Sudoku I seem to be able to do. I suppose I have only got a few digits, but I've got a whole row down here. Okay, sorry, I can't see how to do that. So I'm guessing I've got to look at the top of the grid now. Oh, although, hang on. Yeah, these 1s are massively powerful, aren't they? Because basically, every single one of these cells now cannot be a 1. I mean, this can't be a 1 either, but because it's a corner, it can go either way on its fillomino. But the rest of this has to just extend out, and I can see what that's going to do. Because these all have to extend out at least one cell, this one hits a 2 and therefore is a 2. Which we can therefore draw in. And right, and that gives me a Sudoku 2 here. Okay, what are these? 3, 4, and 5. I'm gonna pencil mark it. 3, 4, and 5. That's not 4. Okay, I don't know if I can do better than that, but this being a 2 means none of these other ones can now be 3. Well, this one can't be 3, look, because it would touch a 3. So that's at least 4. So it's got to come out 1 more. Possibly 2 more. I'm just wondering what this one has to do. Whoa, that has to be at least 3, so it's got to come out. So this has to grow again. This has to be at least 3. This has to be at least 3. This has to be at least 3. The moment we can get the 3 in this column, we are going to be cooking with gas, aren't we? I don't know how to do that though. Can I do something at the top here to figure out what's going on? Well, not without knowing what this is, I don't think, or at least in which direction this cell goes. I've got a feeling I'm meant to be able to do a lot more down here. It feels really constrained, but I just can't see how to extend these lines with any logic. Okay, I'm gonna move on to the top of the grid where I've got something very similar going on because of this 1. So everything internal must be at least a 2 and therefore has to go up. And these are the plants growing towards the sky rather than the roots growing or delving down at the bottom. Right, that's not a 2 then, that one, look, because it would touch another 2. So it's at least a... Oh, yeah, this is important. So this is at least a 3 and therefore must turn, and that's going to mean this one in here, which can't be a 1, has to go out sideways. Oh, hang on, have I made a mistake here? Because obviously this can't bump into the 10 and neither can this one. Oh, I see. Oh, this is... Oh, no, I see everything. I see it all. Right. These two things here are... They only have those cells that they are capable of occupying. So that's 5 cells. And they must therefore be, must be a 2-3 pair. What's more, that is a 2. So this is a 3, this is a 2. I've now got a 4-7 pair by Sudoku in box 2 of the sub-Sudoku. This is a 2, so that means we can finish this off. That's got to do that. This is a 3, so it's got to do that. Let's fill in the numbers so that we feel we're making progress. Now this is massive because now everything's going to extend again. This can't be 2 or 3, so it's got to go up there. That can't be 2 or 3. That means that's got to go up again, doesn't it? I think that's right, because this is at least 4. This is at least 4 as well, but I don't know whether it does one of those two things. And now this 10 is penned in. So it's got to come out across the top here, look. So the 6 is the maximum it could have up here. 7, 8. The 2 is now forced to come out here. 6, 7, 8, 9. This 2 can't now turn right because it would hit another 2. So we can put 2 in here. These are all A's because they are equal to 10. That's an A as well. But I'm not sure I know how this continues to grow. This one here has to grow again because it can't be equal to 3, so it's got to be at least there. Does that mean that has to join the 6? This one here. Oops. Oh, actually, maybe not, because we haven't put 1 in this column. 1 is the crucial digit in this puzzle, especially in the perimeter of the Sudoku, because it allows you to draw all these fillomino radials. How long have I had? 45 minutes. Well, it's a sensational puzzle. Already you can say that, can't we? I mean, it's just brilliant. It's so original and interesting. Okay, but now I fear I'm getting stuck again. I'm supposed to know. I'm wondering if I can somehow... Well, the thing I'm wondering is, can I get 1 in this column? That feels like the most sort of important thing I could do. But I don't know how to do it. Maybe I can do some Sudoku. I will just have a think about that for a moment. It is not my favourite thing to think about, but I don't know. I'm not actually seeing... I find it a bit hard to see that these bottom numbers are in the Sudoku, and they are. I can't see how they could do much more than they've done already. How do we lock some stuff into this? None of those can be a... Oh, 2s. That's going to be it. Look. 2, 2, 2. There's a 2 in one of these. Oh, not a B, a 2. So one of these... Oh, I see. So that could be a 2, and then that would plonk that... Oh, no, hang on. That doesn't work. Oh, sorry. I've just noticed something about this. That doesn't join there. Because if it does join there, it would be a 6 in this cell. And that would clash by Sudoku. Oh, right, this is it. This is it. Because... Right, what is this digit then? And the answer is I don't know. I haven't got a clue. But what I can tell you is it's not 1, 2 or 3 by Sudoku, and it's not 6. So this line has to extend. And in extending, what's it going to do? That. And that surely gives this one a problem. That can't be 2 anymore, so that's the 2, and this has got to be a 1 and sit on its own. And now we've got the 1 in the column. And we've got a 2 here, so that forces this shape. Whoa, not that shape. Not that shape, this shape. So this is a 2. Well, actually, this is not a 3 either, is it? So I'm going to extend this again. So this has to do that. Oh, it's probably, look, it's probably going to join to this. This is probably a 6. Is that breaking anything? Can't see what that's breaking. I strongly suspect this 6 is joining there. But I think more importantly, much more importantly, now we've got the 1 in this column, everything else must give rise to a radial coming out for our fillomino. Now this 6, still don't know which way it goes. Now, well, better than this, I've done 2 cell radials, but I can't. In fact, none of these can be a 2, so they need to extend again. That one might not, because it could bend down. But well, this 7 looks very awkward now. So this 7... Well, how many of these lines on its right can it dodge? You know, it can't do things like this and not hit these lines, because they're all going to then have to be... no, actually, maybe they don't all have to be 3. It can't come down to there, can it? If it did that... wouldn't both of these have to be 3? I think they would. So it's not allowed to do too much jiggery pokery, I don't think. In fact, all of these digits are just restricted. I mean, what actually can this be? It's 3 at the moment, so it could be 3. It could be 7 if it attaches to the 7. It could be 4 if it goes there. And it could be 5 if it goes there. So that's 3, 4, 5, or 7. I'm just trying to see. See, it's almost doing something in this row. Now this one, at the moment it's 3. If it goes to be 4, it would go there. Right, that cannot be 4. Because if it's 4, the only way it can be 4 is if it takes this cell only. Now the 7 is trapped and would have to take this, but it can't reach a count of 7 because it can only take that cell in addition. Because once it's taken this, it can't also take that without making those two numbers the same. So this is not 7, it's 3 or 4 only. I was looking to see whether Sudoku was going to save me and tell me which one of those was possible. This one could be 3 again. Probably 4. If it's 4, it takes this cell only. If it's 4, this is then 3. So the 7 doesn't reach quorum again, does it? I think. If this is 4, this is 3. This 4 extends to here. This 7 can take that cell, it can join up here, and it can take that cell, and it's still only of size 6. It's not enough. So, okay, so this is not 4. It can't be 5, it can't be 7 or 8, so it can't be 6, so it's 3 or 9. 9 is ludicrous, it cannot be 9. Well, let's think about it. Let's just prove that to ourselves. If it was 9, it would have to come to here and then turn down, but the 7's broken again, because the 7 would have to take this cell, those two cells, and it would only reach a count of 6. So that's 3, which means that's 4, and that... No, that's impossible. I've broken it somehow. I've missed something here. Because I can't make this 4. I proved before this can't be 4. Did I? Hang on. What? Didn't I? What did I do here? I thought I proved this couldn't be 4. And I've got a 4 in it. Oh, can this be 7? Is that the point? Oh, hang on. I'm really confused now. I think this cell is forced to be 3 from the logic I just did. But this cell I've now not got a clue about because I've got no valid option for it. Now, why could this not... It can't be 5 because the 5's going to take it round there and break the 7. So this has to be 7. And somehow that's going to work. But I don't quite understand how. Let me have a look. So, obviously this can attach here, that's perfect. But that can't join here, so it's got to now come down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it reaches 7 like that. Now, why is this allowed? Well, that could come over there. Oh, so this works. Oh, see, this works. And then what's this then? That's 4 or 5. Okay, well that's good. We have in fact, therefore, worked out how this works. Although I'm not quite sure what on earth I was pencil marking into this cell because it was not clear once I got that this had to be a 3. What on earth I was doing? So that's 3. Those are 7. This square is not 3 or 7. This is 4 or 5. So it's got to grow. So if it doesn't join up there, this 5 can't join that. It would be of size 6. No. Okay, this doesn't work. This 5, let's imagine it doesn't join to this. So that means it goes up here. Now the moment it does that, the puzzle's broken, because this 5 can't join to this because it would be of size 6, so that line segment is forced, and we know these can't be the same number, so that line segment is forced, and you now have 2 4s in this column, which won't work. So in fact, therefore, this 5 does join here, and that's lovely because that gives us this digit, which gives us this digit, this digit, this digit, by Sudoku of all things. And the world is still working. We can draw some lines to make this all clear. What is this do? Oh, no, this could still be 4, look. Yeah, this is going to be 4. I'm not sure what's going on in column 1 of the actual fillomino. We'll worry about that in a minute. But these squares now have got to be 4, 8 and 9. 8's and 9. Oh, hang on, no, this is not 4, this is 9. Oh, that doesn't feel good. There's a 9 here, ruling out 9 from those cells. So that cell's become a 9. Oh dear, that doesn't look good. 9 has to go. Well, the 6 would have to join there now because it's got nowhere else to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, it can be 9, you know. That could be 9. It could go right up into the corner. So maybe it does do that. So that 6 would be like that. Let's just fill that in and see what's broken. The 2 would now have to go up. Oh, I see. It does just fit. It does just fit into the corner. So this is 9. We can do some ringage of that. All of those go in. Now, how does this 10 work now? 1, 2, 3. We've got 7, 8, 9, 10. It's exactly right. Good grief. This is right. I'm sure it is now because it actually fits. So that is going to mean we can do that. Oh, I don't like seeing these 2 9s next to each other, but I think that's fine because this is a fillomino outside the Sudoku. Now, what are those squares then? They've got to be 4, 5, 7, and 8. 4, 5, 7, and 8. That is not 4 or 7. So it grows. It's got to grow more. It's got to be at least 5. So this one to its right now is, well, that's at least 4. So that's got to grow as well. This is all getting very cluttered. This has got to grow, so it's got to go round here, and it's at least 4. So now this is awfully tight, isn't it? This one's got to come out this way. Now this can't be a 2, so it's got to grow. This is at least 4, so this has got to grow. So unless this can be 3, it's going to join the 6. I'm staring at the Sudoku trying to see if that... Oh, hang on. How can this be 8? If this is 8, there's not enough room for it, so that's got to be 5. That's got to be 5. Which means they're not 5. So this is a 4, 7, 8 triple. That one is not 8. This digit, well, that's got to be 4, doesn't it? Because there's not enough room for it to be 7 or 8. It's going to run into the 3. So this is huge. This is absolutely mighty. Because now that's got to be 4, which gives us this digit, all those digits, all these digits. This now is a 7 by Sudoku. This is an 8 by Sudoku. And how on earth is this 7 going to work? Let's try and build it and see. The 3 is going to have to take at least that cell. So the 7 goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, it's still got options actually. Oh, Okay. I thought that was all going to be very cluttered, but no. Right, okay. Well, let's try down here again then. We've got, this has got to grow. It's at least 4. That pushes the 6 down, which pushes the 9 round the corner, which pushes the 6 round the corner, which pushes this over, this over. And, oh, this is very tricky now. These two have to account for 12 cells, and they're now forced, look, to come down this column because they've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They've only got 8 cells at the moment. So they've got to do, even if they took that cell, they've got to come past the 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. They need at least 4 cells more. So even if they took those two, they've still got to take these two. So the 6 is therefore forced to come round the corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the 6 gets finished because of the fillomino effect of the 4-8 pair. So that gets finished. That's going to finish the 9, is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so the 9 gets finished. We might as well put that in actually, and then do the line drawing. So that's got to do this. The 4 at the bottom is now forced. Okay, and we now know exactly, well I know that, actually, I know that this is a 4-8 pair, and I know exactly which cells it takes. It takes everything it can. But it is ambiguous. The order is ambiguous. Because you could put the 4 on the top, and then this would stop, and then this one would go and take all of those cells. Or, if this is the 4, it takes those, and this comes round the corner and takes all those. So we need the sudoku to tell us which of those is correct. It's got to be a 7 in one of these cells by sudoku. There's a 2 down there. That's already done. Right, what are those digits then? They're 3, 5. Hang on, they're 3, 5, and 1 actually. 1, 3, 5. That's not 1 by sudoku. That's not 3 by sudoku. Oh, I know. What about this column? I've not put 3 and 9 in. 3 and 9 go in those 2 cells. So this box still needs 2, 6, and 8. I don't believe. Hang on. Okay, yeah. So where does 2 go? 2's got to go here. This is a 6, 8 pair. So that up there has got to be a 3 and a 9. It's not done, I don't think. Those squares have got to be 6 and 8. Which also is not resolved somehow. What about... I don't know. What we probably want to... okay, there is a 3 in this row. So that little string of fillomino 3s could not have a 3 here, so it's at least a 4, and that's going to extend it there. That's penning in the 2 beneath it, look. So yeah, okay, that's an interesting thought. We can cap out the value of these now, because the most they could take would be 11. These 2 can't add up to more than 11. What can they be? Yeah, they can't be 1, 2, or 3. So they're 4. So they're 4, 5, 6, and 7 only. Because if we put 8 in or 9 in here, we can't put 8. But if you put 9 in here, these will add up to too many. So, okay, that one's not 7 for what it's worth. So, is that somehow important? I don't know. Okay, okay. Where does 7 go in this column of the Sudoku? There's a 7 there, knocking out those two. There's a 7 in these two cells, knocking out those two. So there is the 7 in this column is forced at the bottom. Good grief. So that's a 7, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. It's got 8 cells. Oh no, it hasn't got 8 cells because that's got to be a 4 at least. Ah, that's got to extend, and now there's not enough. Well, there is enough room, but only if it takes all the cells. Good grief! So this 7 is now done. That means we can put these around here. That 4 is penned in now as well, by the way. So that's got to be done like this, and we can fill all of these in. And that 4 is very important for that cell, which makes that 4 and that 8. And now I got another interruption. Sorry. It doesn't often happen, but it can happen with especially the longer videos. And yeah, I've got a few things going on at the moment in real life, which means that yeah, I'm getting a few phone calls. But anyway, where was I? I'm filling in 4s and 8s over on this left-hand side, which is right, and I've not done the. Well, I've not done the lines. That's outrageous. So let's do the lines. We've got to do the 4 must be that, and we can then do this. Do this, and therefore this, and then the 8 must be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's got to go there. Oh, okay. Let's double check that that's going to work with a. Yeah, that can be a 1. So we've got an 8 here. And now we must be able to do something over on the right hand side, probably. I'm just trying to see. Oh, I can do Sudoku. Of course it will be Sudoku that I miss. 8 and 6 go in. And now there's a 6 in one of these. What about this row though? That looks very it's awful with these 4s in the same row as this 4. It makes me think I've got it wrong. But 2, 3, 5 and 9. So these squares are restricted. 2, 3, 5 and 9. Now there's a 3 here. So they can't be 3. That one can't be 5. So this is 2 or 9. No, okay, that might be resolved somehow, but I can't see how to do it straight away. So probably, yeah, we've probably got to have a look at the fillomino here. So what have we got to put in these squares? We have got 3, 5, 6 and 9. And we can say that that's a 3 by Sudoku. So that's a very useful thing. If that's a 3 by Sudoku, that can't be a 5 either. Well, the 3 by Sudoku gives us this line, doesn't it? So let's put that in and see whether that helps with the world. Now this is at least a 6 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's, no, it can't join that because that would make it longer than 6, but it's certainly getting at least to here. Oh, no. This right. What about that digit? What's that digit? That is now not able to be 3 anymore, so it's going to bump into the 6. The moment it bumps into the 6, it becomes 6, which means that's 9, and that's 5. Which means that's 6, and that's 8. It probably means other things as well, but what it most importantly means... Ooh, I mean... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, okay, how does this 5 fit in, I think, is the question. Because this 9 needs quite a lot more squares. It's only got 6 squares at the moment. So it's going to have to come out here. And the only places that the 5's got to go then are those cells. So that 5 is finished. That pushes the 9 up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that's now correct. The 6 must extend up. The 8 must extend up. The 8 mustn't bump into the 7. So the 6 gets finished. Like that. Now let's put in some numbers now, just so we feel like we're making smooth progress in a numeric way. Those are 9s, those are 6s, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got one more 7 to put in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 more 8s to put in, and one more 3 to put in, and we've got 6 cells to fill. So there's another 1. There is another 1 in the top right hand area, because we've got the wrong count. We've got 6 cells to fill, 1 from the 3, 1 from the 7, yeah, and 3 from the 8. So we need to put another 1 in, and that can't go in either of those cells, or it will touch that one. So, that's really beautiful. Good grief, how do you do this at the end of a puzzle like this? I don't know, but it's absolutely gorgeous, because now, if these can't be 1, they need to be another number. Well, 7 can't reach, it's only got 1 more cell to give, and 3 can't reach, it's only got 1 more cell to give. So those 2 cells have to be 8. And the only way of connecting this, and this using 1 more cell is if that is 8, which makes this the 1. That is beautiful. Absolutely. Well, it's extraordinary setting to build this in at this stage. It's just ludicrous. I mean, imagine if you were on a desert island trying to produce this puzzle. I mean, literally, if you gave you 100 years to do it, I think people would struggle to come up with anything this clever. It's startling. Look, and now have we done it? Well, I mean, apart from the Sudoku, of course, which I view as yeah, I mean, it's an adjunct to the real thing. Well, I think we have sort of done it. We've done the fillomino. So now what we've got to do, he says, as if this is going to be a straightforward thing, is just do some Sudoku on this middle bit. So those squares have got to be 1, 2, 3, and 9, which I can see is mildly restricted in places. 3 comes out of there, 1 comes out of here, 2 comes out of here. Which, well, that does seem to give me a 1, 3, 9 triple, which means these squares have got to be from 4, 7, and 8. Which I don't know how to do. I know that's not 7. Doesn't seem to do it, does it? Okay. What about this row? I have got a lot going on in this row. 1, 4, and 8. So that's got to be 1, 4, literally 1, 4, or 8, unfortunately. What about those two? That's not 8. 1 or 4. What about that? That's 1 or 8. Okay, I'll try this row then. So we've got 1, 4. Only 1, 4, and 6 into these squares. 1, 4, 6. That can't be 6. That one can't be 4. So, okay, so in this row, I know the 4 is over here, which means that can't be a 4. So now I've got a 1, 8 pair in this row, and that becomes a 4. This row, I've got all the low digits. I need 6, 7, 8, 9. That cell is restricted. C6, C's 9 in the column, C7 in the box. So that's 8, which makes this 1, which makes this 4, and this 6, which makes this 1 and this 8, which makes this 9 and this 2, which makes this 3 and this 1, which makes this 3 and this 9. This is exciting. 4, 5. I need 6 and 7 and 6 in there. They go in. So this is now 5. This is a 3. This is a 3. This is a 9. This is a 2. What does this box need? Well, 6 we can place, and it needs 9. So that's got to go here. I think that's... I'm struggling a bit to scan these edge pieces. Right, what's go? Oh, this 1 must go there, so 5 goes here. What's that digit? 9? That does seem to have to be 9. What's that digit? Don't know. It's not 4. Okay, so is it? Oh, it's not 8. There's literally an 8 underneath it. So 7 and 4 go in. 8 goes here. Now, these are a 4, 5 pair, which... Now, I take some comfort from the fact that as I put in the 4-5 pair, I'm not seeing a repeat in the row. I do seem to need 4-5 in the box. The 5 seems useful there, the 4 seems useful there, but I have no clue. I suspect that not even with Sven's genius is this is this software going to work. No, it doesn't work. It doesn't understand that there is a sub-Sudoku grid in the middle of the Sudoku Africa that's surrounding it. Now, how on earth am I going to check this? I might have to check this during editing, you know, because I've got no real way of, I mean, other than just sort of scanning it with my eyes and hoping. I mean, I'm not, it's probably famous last words, but I'm not immediately seeing repeated digits here. Have I actually... Oh, I've missed a delineation there. That's appalling. Yeah, so I could have missed a delineation. I could have missed a digit even. Now, that's very possible. That's not. That was green. It should be black. Well, I'm going to say this is the correct solution, and that allows me to eulogize a little bit about Magnus. For this is just a work of sublime genius again. We have had several amazing puzzles recently. This is right up there. And I guess I might just make a point about the length of the videos occasionally. Some of the videos get very long, but what we're always endeavouring to do on the channel is to produce to showcase the very, very best puzzles in the world. And nobody could solve this puzzle and not say that it was, I mean, it clearly is one of the best puzzles in the world. It's one of the best puzzles you will find ever in the history of puzzles. And therefore, you know, but it takes a while to solve it. There's a lot going on. But you know, Magnus, you need to take a bow, my friend. That is just a beautiful, beautiful Sudoku, fillomino, chaos FilloSudokumino. That's what I was trying to say. It's definitely a beautiful one of those, and I hope that you'll forgive the long videos when we're showing these amazing puzzles. Yeah, I look forward to the comments on this one, especially if they're kind, and especially if I've got it right. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.